Do you agree with the sentiment that South Africa needs Kaizer Chiefs to be at their best for football to benefit, like stadiums to be full for competition? Do you agree with that sentiment?
As much as I hate to admit it, but I do.
Yeah. So is it they're going to win the league?
Yeah, they look promising. I won't lie to you.
But
Yeah,
he hasn't been performing well. He got beaten 2-0 just now and 4-0 once again. You know, a coach of his caliber has to win games, you know.
No, I think our problem, we focus more on the senior players. So there's no proper transition between the young players and everyone. So now they're coming on and they have no proper guidance.
Yeah. And we're expecting them to
win.
Banyana
Because
Banyana.
Exactly.
We always knew cheaper to fire coaches after every 3 games. Sanbonani, Absheni, Dimacheroni, Dimasiari, Dimadekwane, depending on what time you're watching this. And welcome to First 11 Sports. We've seen you for 2 episodes now. This is the 3rd episode. We hope that you guys have enjoyed it thus far, man. And yeah, man, it's been good vibes. I mean, the conversations have been flowing. Everybody seems happy. For today's episode, we're going to try and touch as much as we can on the PSL. We're going to try and talk a bit about Banyana Banyana, also touch on what has been happening with the Diski Challenge and varsity football, what those have contributed to South African football. And then maybe towards the end, we'll probably touch on Champions League a bit. I mean, I see a PSG shirt here. It's very controversial, but it'll be interesting just to touch on it probably towards the end. But let me start by introducing you guys. Snazo, I've been telling people from episode 1 that you're going to be here. You're finally here. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, I hope you didn't oversell me because, hi
definitely
guys.
oversold. But I trust you to handle it. So I was telling Warabile from the first episode that whenever I wake up, the first thing I'll do is go on social media. And the first person I'll find posting stories about everything that's going to be happening on the day is you. I know which Champions League games are playing. I know what PSL games are playing. So that's one thing that I've always appreciated about you. So welcome. We hope that you'll enjoy being here with us today and for the episodes that are coming up.
Well, thank you. But then, I mean, I hope Nams will enjoy my time with you guys. I'm actually a bit nervous, but yeah.
We're cool people. And then again, from episode 1, we had Ukev and Warabile. Warabile, you're back with us for episode 3. How have you been?
I'm good, thanks, my brother. And you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. How have your teams been doing?
So far from my predictions, they've been doing well. It's just 1 or 2, you know.
We're going to ask about them. Don't worry. We're going to ask because I told you guys I'm going to keep track of everything that you're doing. But nice to have you here again.
All right. Thank you so much.
Man. So, like I said, guys, we're going to start off with the PSL, right? Yeah. It's been a pretty interesting season so far. I mean, coming into it, a lot of people were excited to see what a Kaizer Chiefs would do, for example, Coach Napi coming in. A lot of people were excited to see what Sundowns would do, Coach Rolani leaving, Yona Mangoba taking on that role as the head coach, and Orlando Pirates coming from winning the 2 trophies last season, so much excitement around them. How have you felt, like on an overall base, how have you felt about what has happened in the PSL so far?
Well, it's been entertaining.
Yeah.
That's why I'm starting out. I
agree.
It's been a while since we saw Kaizer Chiefs playing so well, and I must say, Impact Kasserino has been exceptional as well. I'm just looking forward to watching Kaizer Chiefs play now. Like, I don't like them much, but yeah.
Thank you for making that obvious.
It's obvious, but then I can't take away the fact that they're doing well. And actually interesting for South African football. It's been boring for some time because of the Sundowns dominance and all that.
Yeah.
But now we have proper competition.
Do you agree with the sentiment that South Africa needs Kaizer Chiefs to be at their best for football to benefit, like stadiums to be full for competition? Do you agree with that sentiment?
As much as I hate to admit it, but I do. I mean, we can't, Catch is a big team. It's a big team, so they must do well. They must deliver.
And for you, Obi, how have you felt about the season so far? What's been interesting for you so far?
Very excited, looking at also how Kaizer Chiefs has been playing. I'm very happy to see them compete. I'm not a Kaizer Chiefs fan, but I'm very happy to see them compete. Yeah, but looking at also how teams are trying to level up against Sundowns at the moment, I'm very happy because, I mean, South African football is quality. We can't let one team play all the time and know that they're going to win. You know, so I'm just happy that the competition is back, the ambition is back.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to what will happen, you know, in the coming season. The question is with Chiefs, will they last? So
will they be able to sustain it? Because
exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of the fact that it's been so competitive, I mean, I saw a stat on OptaJabu. Please go and follow OptaJabu on Twitter.
Yeah.
They post some of the most incredible stats. I saw a stat there that it's the first time in the history of the PSL that we've had 2 teams win their first 4 games. So we're actually seeing a proper race here. Do you think this is something that Orlando Pirates can sustain? Because Sundowns has proven it over the few years that they can sustain this. Do you think Pirates has the squad, firstly, the coach, and just the feel to be able to sustain it for the whole season?
I think they do.
Yeah.
As much as they've been doing the same thing for the past few seasons where they play well and then struggle to get on top, I think somehow this season they're too hungry. Yeah, it's very competitive, and I think they have what it takes.
Squad.
I'm somehow rooting for them as well, but then I guess we'll never know.
I said the same thing too on episode 1.
Yeah.
I said they're gonna win the league.
Yeah, they look promising. I won't lie to you. Yeah, they are promising.
I still have to ask Kev, because Kev told us that Cape Town City is winning the league, and it's not looking good so far.
A wild prediction from Kev.
Very wild. But speaking of that Orlando Pirates squad, I mean, a lot of the criticism in the past few years has always been about how probably they don't have the squad depth to be able to compete with the Sundowns, which personally I've never really agreed with. I've always thought that Pirates has a good squad, you see. But the reality of it is, when you look at it now, you're looking at probably Mwanapule Saleng being the guy that's scoring a lot of goals for them, right? Relebogile Mufokeng on the other wing, you know, dazzling as much as he does. But then we're also seeing Emohao Nkota now coming in, and he looks like the real deal. You see, you've got Abo Kabelo Dlamini coming in off the bench, also at times doing the business for your Pirates. You've got Makahleni Makaula, Umbata, Maswangani. All of them are performing at such a high level. Mabasa hasn't had probably the best start to the season, but we saw what he did last season, you see. On the other hand, you've got a Sundowns team that we've known for years has the best squad and builds a squad to compete in the Champions League, right? Now, Orlando Pirates find themselves in the Champions League also, right? So what I'm trying to drive at is that squad that they have now, will it be able to sustain them in terms of having a good run in the Champions League, but at the same time also keeping up with the Mamelodi Sundowns? Or do you feel like at some point they're going to focus on one competition or the other? And if so, which competition do they have to win?
I think for Pirates, that's where they lose it, because they only have one team, like Team A. And then when they're playing a lot of competitions at once, it's very hard for them to keep up with the fatigue, injuries, and all that. So once they start playing all of them at once, then it becomes a problem for them. So if only maybe they can try and have their own like first team, second team, and all that, they can try and maintain those things.
I think they are going to prioritize one competition, which is the league, you know. Because looking at what happened also with the small cups, like the tournament that they played recently, they got beaten by Magesi, they got beaten by
Which was a very interesting game, because first half I felt like they were a little too relaxed probably, and Magesi took advantage of that. Also took advantage of the fact that because they were so relaxed and probably they thought they would win it a lot easier, Hoto was attacking as much as he could, you know, both their fullbacks were going forward. Magesi would get the ball, just put it at the back post. The centre back is one-on-one, or Hoto is trying to come back into play, but it's a little too late. Second half, they created so many opportunities, but couldn't put them away, you see. So it'll be interesting to see if they are able to get the right momentum in every competition that they're playing. But you guys touched on Kaizer Chiefs, ne?
Yeah.
And Gaston Sirino in the league, I think he's got, I think it's 2 assists and a goal. He scored one and assisted another one against the SuperSport in the cup. You know, you've got the likes of Abomfundo Vilagazi, you know, Wandile Duba, Umdu Shabalala, all these players that are doing so well, Chivaviro, you see. Where do you see Chiefs competing at the season? Are they fighting for the league? Are they more of trying to get into the CAF competitions in the top 3 probably? Are they trying to fight for top 8 maybe? Like where do you see them competing this season?
I think they're going to try and aim for top 5. They're not.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, they're not gonna try and win the league. They understand that it's a milestone thing now. You have to build bit by bit. You can't really bring in a new coach, new technical team, and say you have to win everything. So I think they're going to try and get first to like top 5 and see that there's some sort of movement now. The fans are back. We have their trust. The stadiums are full, and now, we can try and win the league and compete for the league, which is something that will happen. I don't know in how many years.
Top 5 for you also?
Yeah, I think top 5 because, I see Stellenbosch at number 3. There may be someone else at number 4 and then Chiefs maybe.
Yeah.
What's interesting for me with that is that part of the reason why they brought in a coach Nabi was because they've got this what's looking like going to a 10-year trophy drought, right? So if they're not going to be, according to you guys, competing for the league, how important then does that game against Sundowns that's coming up become? Do they put all their eggs into trying to win this trophy so they can get that weight off their backs of, you've got this trophy drought? And if they fail to win this, or to win this game, or to win the competition itself, does that put pressure on them now to compete for the league? Or because Nedbank Cup, you can only win it at the end of the season. So if they don't win this trophy, how much pressure do they have now on Coach Nabi, on the players, to try and keep up with the Pirates and the Sundowns?
I think personally, they don't really have a lot of pressure. Fine, they have 10 years gap, but right now they're taking one game at a time. It's been a while since we saw like Chiefs winning games
consistently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now I feel like one win is enough. Like you get another one, you get another, you get another one. So this game is important. However, even if they win this game and lose the tournament, they make a difference.
It doesn't make a difference.
It makes a difference for them because they will win against Sundowns. Even though they won't come close to Pirates with the trophy or whatever, but they'll still win. So that's something for them.
Do you think they have a chance to beat Sundowns in this quarterfinal?
They already played against Sundowns and it was very hectic. So anything is possible.
It
was close.
It was very close.
So anything is possible.
They're going to compete.
So it's payback time for them. They must win. They have that thing to win. But at the same time, we can't really rule out Sundowns. We know. They know how to win.
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Now, with the other teams, because I don't want to just talk about the top 3, right? Or the big, let me say the big 3. Let me not say top, let's say big 3. With the other teams that we've seen, we've seen an Amazulu, for example, struggle, but they've brought in an Atazwane, they've brought in a Kanu Vilakazi, right? Atazwane, in his time at Kaizer Chiefs, I think they played 37 games, he won 17 of them. So that puts him somewhere around 46% win rate. Ukanu Vilakazi, where he's coming from, which is Richards Bay, played 21 games, I think he won 9 of them. So that's 43% also. But I think what's always been the conversation with both of them actually has always been that they play good football. Their teams are known for playing good football. Do you think they have what it takes to get Amazulu out of the trouble that they are in at the moment? It's still the beginning of the season. It's still early days. It's not like they are in the relegation battle yet. It's still early days, right? But do you think they have what it takes to get them out of that position? And if they do so, I heard them speaking about aiming for top 4.
No, that's too ambitious.
Too ambitious, I agree.
What's success then for the Amazulu this season?
Top 8. Getting to top 8 is success for them, in my opinion. Qualifying for the MTN 8.
Is that, do you think they have the squad to do that? Yeah. And the quality with themselves to do that?
Yeah, I agree. It's a very strong team. I watched them last season as well. They've been playing very well. It's just a matter of building momentum. You don't know what happens at the beginning of the season. You might plan something and then it goes left. So let them get their momentum. Let them have their co-coaches. There's no more an assistant coach at this point. Let them have their co-coaches. And I think they'll get to top 8.
And do you agree with the top 8 statement?
Maybe top 10. Because right now the aim is for them to get out the relegation zone. So I think maybe at 9, 10.
And they're down there with, I think TS Galaxy is the other team that hasn't done so well. a lot of people were worried about a Royal AM, for example, with them having the transfer ban. And how much of an effect do you guys think being banned has on a team? Because there's two ways to look at it. Firstly, you're not able to refresh the team. You're not able to make any signings, of course. So you can't add on whatever you're missing. Ne? But on the other hand, there's other people that might argue that, but you still have the players that have played together for so long.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of an understanding. There's an understanding of, okay, this is this one's shortcomings. This is where I can help him. Do you think Royal AM will be able to survive the season if we discard the fact that they might get docked points at some point or whatever if they don't pay the money? But do you think with the current squad they can actually compete in the season?
I don't think the transfer ban is a problem for them, because even when they were still able to buy players, they were not really doing so well. So they can just work with what they have.
So it doesn't change.
It doesn't change much. They need to work with what they have. And then
I actually agree with Snazo, Now that I think about it, it's actually
Because the
true,
interesting thing is, we're seeing even the chairman getting on the field and playing games. and to be honest, I was a little worried when that, will he be able to keep up with the pace of the league? And to be honest, from a fitness level, no. He's not able to keep up. He doesn't do a lot of running. But when he's on the ball, you can see a bit of South African flavor. So it'll be interesting, man, to see how they are able to do. We're going into this competition now, the Culling Knockout, ne?
Yeah.
And I asked you guys about the Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns game, ne? Do you think you have a winner for that?
I'm a bit biased.
Okay, let's start with, does Kaizer Chiefs have a chance? Because I'm trying to figure out what success is for them. That's my one gripe with what Kaizer Chiefs is doing this season. Do they have a chance to win this? Let's say they do beat the Sundowns and go beyond Sundowns. Do they become favorites in the competition?
Yeah, I can give them like a 55%
one of the
chance.
favorites.
Yeah, one of the favorites.
They're not exactly the favorites.
Because Stellenbosch is still there.
No, Stellenbosch,
Exactly, I was thinking of
and
them.
that Stellenbosch squad is
Strong.
it's heavy. And I think the one thing that they're able to do is to integrate these younger players. I mean, we're seeing a Cupido now scoring goals for them also. Mujela has been sensational so far. So
they're actually building something.
they're actually building something. So you're confident with what they're building
I love Stellies. I mean, I love what they're doing.
Okay. Just to close off on the PSL then, from all the teams in the PSL, which ones do you guys think, from what you've seen so far, are in danger in terms of going down this season? Who do you think needs to start pulling up their socks? Who do you think needs to start making the right signings before it gets out of hand?
For me, it has to be SuperSport United. I believe in Gavin Hunt a lot, but he hasn't been performing well. He got beaten 2-0 just now and 4-0 once again. You know, a coach of his caliber has to win games, you know, and another team also is TX Galaxy. They have quality players.
It's very interesting for me with TS Galaxy because last season, Siad Ramovic was the talk of the town. The team was playing well. All of a sudden, they are on the wrong end of the table. Do you think he's affected by... Because there was a lot of rumors before the season started that he was going to Morocco. Do you think that has affected him? Do you think that has affected the team?
Too many factors to talk about. For me, this is my conspiracy theory. I think he was fueled also by the feud he had with Rulani. You know,
so now there's no motivation.
You have to have that person, like a Messi Ronaldo type of guy. You have that fuel.
Okay, it pushes you a little further,
even more. So that and also the transfer to Morocco. You know, there's just so many factors that that can be talked about. You know.
So do you see them being in the relegation battle
if they don't pick up their socks? From what I'm seeing from the first 4 games, and obviously Amazulu as well. They worry me a lot.
Nah, I'm worried about Royal AM and TS Galaxy.
So it's a clean sweep for TS Galaxy.
And the obvious suspects, the usual suspects, cheaper. So far, they're doing well, ne?
They're doing well.
Yeah, but they always find themselves in the bottom 3. That's the problem.
So
like, they're always somewhere there. So,
but then they've stabilized a bit. I mean, we always knew cheaper to fire coaches after every 3 games. But they seem to have... maybe not stabilized, but gotten themselves out of the headlines and gotten their business going, our Evanga scoring goals and playing well. So they've got Ukwaiba, who was in the Bafana squad also. So
The whole save
Yeah.
so their midfield is kind of
exactly
stable in a
who
way.
scored a scorcher against Orlando Pirates. You see, so it'll be interesting to see. So you're saying it's cheaper you worry about. Royal AM is for you the candidate
Yeah.
for
It is.
Ihlati. Okay.
But you said they're playing well.
No, they don't play well. They just I don't know how to put
They
it,
do
but
enough
they just play.
for
Yeah.
okay.
It's like they play for vibes. It's not really professional enough for me. Like there's always something going on with them. So whether they buy players or not, there's always going to be something.
Yeah.
So I worry about them, and they're going to use the transfer ban as an excuse. So
That's where the trouble is going to come in. And
Yeah.
it gives you that thing of having an excuse. I feel like it affects players badly as the season goes, because if you lose a game, it's no longer, I didn't play well. It's a
Yeah.
case of, but we've got a transfer ban. Really, what do people expect? So I get you. In terms of then, you guys said Kaizer Chiefs top 5. In terms of the top 4 then, I think for most people, they will say Sundowns, Pirates, and Stellies are almost
Yeah.
guaranteed.
yeah.
Then who's the 4th team? Because you've got a Sekukune playing well.
Like I was about to say the same thing.
They
Even
haven't
last
lost
season,
this season,
and they on position
in the
3,
league, yes.
Position 4,
Yes.
yeah.
Position 4.
Position 4.
You've got a Cape Town City who, yes, haven't started the season well, but a lot of people were excited about
Yeah.
them, including myself. I won't lie. I was excited about them. But they haven't started the season well.
But they can still pick up. They always do.
They always do.
Yeah, they always do.
I mean,
Middle of the
they're the one
season,
team that
though.
beat
Yeah.
Sundowns last season, by the way. So it's an interesting one. You've got the Kaizer Chiefs also, of course, competing for that
Yeah.
spot. So in terms of the top 4, we say the 3 are almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
Which 4th team do you see making it into that top 4?
It's a very tough one
Very-
because I'm still placing Chiefs at number 5. I won't change. I'm still placing Chiefs at number 5.
I think I can
but
put Cape Town City.
Cape Town City.
Yeah.
at number 4.
Yeah.
But Skukune is doing really well with.
Yeah, they are.
Can we go for 2 teams?
Defeats the purpose completely. Because you want to say Chiefs at number 5, so who's the other one?
Okay, I'll have to go for Skukune.
Skukune.
I put my money in Skukune.
Skukune.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on then to Banyana Banyana. Right, we're playing the COSAFA tournament right now. Just a quick one.
Yeah.
We're playing the COSAFA tournament, so we've won 7 of them. And the last 3, I think in 3 years ago, we came out in the semifinals. 2 years ago, we came out in the final. We lost in the final. Last year, we didn't even make it to the semifinals.
Yeah.
But we've got a team right now that is made up of so many youngsters. I mean, there's about 16 players, I think, that are under the age of 23. How important is it for them to win this tournament?
No, it's very important.
Yeah.
I mean,
very important.
Very.
But it's going to be tough, in my opinion. Because looking at how they played against Namibia,
Yeah.
it wasn't promising.
You weren't impressed.
Yeah, because there was a lot of gaps when the 2 wing backs are going forward. There's a lot of gaps at the back. The 2 center backs are left alone. The
So
midfield,
sort of like a tactical discipline.
there is so much to work on. I was really crossing my fingers with that game that
we
we
make
score
it through
something.
somehow.
86
Yeah.
minutes we scored at least.
no, I think our problem, we focus more on the senior players. So there's no proper transition between the young players and everyone. So now they're coming on and they have no proper guidance.
And we're
Like
expecting
they just
them
expect
to
them
be
to win.
Banyana
because
Banyana.
they are big shoes to fill.
Exactly,
So yeah, I feel
exactly.
like they need proper guidance on all that because they're still young.
Yeah.
They do have potential.
Which is the truth, really, with the Banyana Banyana. If you look at what has been happening over the years, I mean, for years we've spoken about how much pressure there is on Utembi
Exactly.
to get us the goals, because if she doesn't score,
Chances of others scoring are very slim. Yeah.
you see. So probably tournaments like this are really important to try and blood in these youngsters, get us to a point where they have the experience and are able to transition into the first team.
But also, like, even with the local league, like the whole Uzbek Soccer League, I mean, it's very gap.
between the
because
Sundowns and
Sundowns
everyone
and the
else.
other teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
So
the
I feel
last
like
4 have been won by Sundowns.
exactly. So if maybe we can find some sort of equality somewhere in there, and then we can actually build a team, because now most players, they want to go to Sundowns, and when they go there, they won't always play.
But the gap becomes even bigger
Exactly.
because all of them
So-
are going there. Do you think then that's a responsibility that lies with the club owners? Is it a responsibility that lies with the league? Is the onus on the players themselves? Is it Sundowns that has to stop buying all the great talent?
They can't stop. They want to win.
They're going for the
stop.
Champions
Yeah.
League.
Yeah, they want
you
to
see.
win. Exactly. So I feel like somehow SAFA can step in.
And somehow regulate
Yes,
it.
do something about it.
To even out the playing ground. Because
Yeah.
UWC, I think, is the closest to
Yeah,
the
it's
Sundowns
close.
at the moment. But still, it's
Still
a
a huge
gap.
gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I feel like even the male team, they should have like, like a female version of the team and all that. So that when they want to play, okay, I'm playing for Orlando Pirates. Because now you can't just say, okay,
Which is the
Sundowns, and then there's
conversation.
TUT, and then there's
Yes.
UWC. So they're all playing in the varsity, like varsity football and all that.
Yeah.
And then you come, okay, Sundowns. Sundowns more like, it's more
Professional.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of professional and developing, just to touch on towards the end now, Diski Challenge, right? Over the years, I think this is like the 10th edition of the Diski Challenge. We've seen so many players come through that system. I think I saw a stat somewhere that it's like 350 players that have gone on from Diski Challenge to play either in the PSL or the NFD. So how much of a contribution do you see Diski Challenge having, or even touching on varsity football? I think Thabo Mnyamane came from varsity
he came from
football.
He did from there.
Yeah, when Northwest University, ne?
Yeah.
And then he was discovered by TUT, went on to play for Supersport, even went as far as playing for Bafana Bafana at some point, scored a goal for Bafana Bafana. How important do you think that a league is in terms of development? Because we've spoken about development for so many years in South Africa.
It is, but it's kind of like neglected in a way.
Yeah, the parameters are shifting in my opinion, because there was a question that people are asking, is it a reserve league or is it a development league? So
Because right now it looks, it's set up more as a development. It's more like under 23s,
Yeah.
right? So it started off as a reserve league, strictly reserve league. But like you're saying, that those parameters have shifted, but we're seeing the benefits of it to some extent, because look at the under 20s. They went to the COSAFA tournament. They blew everyone out of the water. They look like professional players from the PSL. You see, so in
But
that
then
sense,
what happens to them when they get promoted?
Because what you're saying is true, because you're looking at for instance, let's take a Sundowns, for example. Sundowns is going to go and buy a couple of South Americans, going to go and buy players, the best players in the league. Now, what's the progression for those youngsters that just won the DDC into the first team? How many of them actually have a chance to go into the first team? You see, so in that sense, but personally, I love it, man, because I've seen the likes of our Pesitao come from there.
Yes.
I've seen Orile Mfukeng, like Unkota, I mentioned earlier. Mabena used to play there
Mabena,
also.
yeah.
Campbell used to play there
Shandley,
also.
yeah.
So in the long run, it's good for the development of South African football, and hopefully it's something that can help the league itself, Bafana Bafana, going forward.
I agree with you, but there is progress with Bafana Bafana, but is it the only solution that we're looking at? Or are we looking at it in the sense of, okay, getting development, we're going to just get it from the MDC? What about the SAB,
Oh,
leagues?
so you want a little more focus on the lower leagues.
Yeah, there's so much talent. I watched the SAB week in, week out, UJ Vits, so there's so much talent. It's just that they're not getting as much exposure. That's the problem, You're playing week in, week out, but you're 26, 27. Age is growing.
Yeah.
You're growing every single year.
Yeah.
I know players personally, in Sizulu, they say moya wa pele.
Yeah.
Football needs you to have that courage, and at some point it dies down when you don't see any progression.
Progress,
Looking at just the MDC and limiting it to just the under 23s. There's just hurdles that we have to skip. This you have to think about it in a very deep way.
Okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Just to close off then, I spoke about the Champions League. Are you happy with the new format? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
enjoying it.
Is it better than the old format?
It's not better, but it's also interesting.
Okay.
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
Change is bound to happen.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like in the long run, for us and that are watching, it's nice, you know, the new format, looking at the changes. But for the players, the fatigue, you know,
Yeah.
when you're
I
in
mean,
the,
we're seeing a lot of ACL injuries. We're seeing a lot of players that are breaking down. Literally.
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough for them.
We're going to go into your predictions now, Snazone, just to close off. Because he's done his. Who's winning the PSL?
Sundowns.
Very bold. Who's winning the Champions League for Africa?
Yeah, no. Sundowns.
Who's winning the European Champions League?
That one is still very tricky. I want to pick my personal favorite, Barcelona.
Okay. The EPL?
Ayo. Maybe Liverpool?
Liverpool and a slot.
Yeah, I think Liverpool.
Let's see. The Women's Champions League.
I think this is in Chelsea might just take it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost Emma Hayes.
Yeah, they lost. But then one thing about them, they know how to win.
Okay.
So I'm counting on them, even though I love Barcelona, but yeah.
Okay. And then finally, the African Champions League for women. Is it obvious?
It's not obvious. I mean, but yeah, Sundowns.
Oh, wow. Clean sweep for Sundowns.
Sundowns.
Okay, we'll take it. Thank you so much to you guys for watching us today. Thank you so much to you, Snazo, for coming through today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, OV. And we kept it short today. We kept it brief, but I think we touched on a lot of things here that will be interesting conversations moving forward. So thank you so much to you guys, and we look forward to seeing you again on the next episode.